Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
WOKB, Winter Garden, Orlando.
Welcome to Real Family Talk with your host, Jay Real, where we talk about real issues facing us today. Enjoy the show. Real Family Talk. Hello. Welcome to another week of Real Family Talk. This is your host, Jay Real. Hope everybody's having a wonderful evening out there. It's Tuesday. You know, every Tuesday I say the same thing. I'm excited. It is Tuesday. Love Tuesdays, man. I don't care what nobody says. Tuesday's the best day of the week. I want to welcome all the family for joining us live tonight. We're going to go ahead and introduce our panel here. Joining me, got all my regulars back in the building tonight. I'm so excited. Everybody decided to come out and join me. We got Miss Monica's back in the building. How you doing, Miss Monica?
Doing good. How you doing, J Real?
Oh, it's Tuesday. I am highly favored and blessed and excited. We got Jeremy's in the building. How you doing, Jeremy?
What's going on, everybody? Good as always. How's everybody doing out there?
Oh, we got Miss McCrae's here. How you doing, Miss McCrae?
It's Tuesday.
And Mr. Micah King is in the building as well. How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing great, indeed.
Excellent. Let's go ahead. Remember, you can join in on our conversations. 407-894-1680 is the number. 407-894-1680 is the number to join in on our conversations. First up, it's football season, right? The Steelers won on Sunday.
Yeah, they did, didn't they?
Yes, they did. Terrible towels are flying everywhere.
It's all right.
Steelers are in the building.
They just played.
Shout out
the
to all
Jets.
them Steelers fans out there. I don't want to hear about it. The Jets played very well that first week.
Did they? Oh, I'm sorry.
They played very well that first week. They surprised everybody that first week. But the second week, they had to go down, come back a little bit to reality. Sort of like them Cowboys fans out there kind of had to come back to reality this weekend. Can you believe that? 27-7, I believe the score was, to a rookie quarterback, too.
Hey, I'm not surprised. Russell Wilson, the real deal. That's the reason he beat everybody out for that starting job.
I suppose so. I guess we'll
got one
find
quarterback traded and another one make a bunch of money sitting on the bench.
Yeah, because they did sign Matt Flynn to a brand new contract.
Yep.
When they came out. So, yeah, man. But, them Dallas Cowboys fans are kind of hurting right now. But that's okay. Steelers fans, feelings are up, feeling good, feeling like week 3 is going to be a great week, too. Can't wait. Steelers. Shout out to all them Steelers fans.
All two,
All Steelers.
All two or three of them.
all 4 of them. All the Max Starks fans, and that's all you probably got is all the Max Starks fans.
It's half the nation. I don't know what y'all talking about. Half the nation. Steelers fans.
Half the
That's what I'm
nation is
talking
the Cowboy fans.
Yeah,
man.
I would agree with that.
Everybody know them Cowgirls are America's team.
Yeah. Still trying to figure that out, though.
Just because of Emmett, Troy Aikman and Emmett. That's all it's about.
No, I mean, they called it the American team like in the 70s.
Oh, well.
I think it was Starbuck or somebody. Everybody liked.
I've been a Bo Jackson fan, so that's who I'm sticking with, them Raiders.
Me too. That's just coincidence.
Yeah,
I'm a Raiders fan. They had a bad loss to Miami.
Yeah. I mean,
Wow.
We,
But that's what they get for getting rid of the black coach.
Is that what it is?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that?
Don't tell them they're going to go to the Tampa Bay.
They just made they barely missed the playoffs last year, but he had to go, huh?
Yeah, he had to go. You can't fault him, though. They got a black GM, and the black GM said, "Yeah, I don't like this guy. I'm going to bring in my guy."
Sure. That was it.
Hey, man, GMs are a very important part of
I'm
the
not saying
puzzle
they're not.
and the equation.
But everybody got bosses too, don't
They do.
they? Yeah.
They do. That's all right, man. We'll see what happens.
Rest in
man.
peace, Al Davis, forefront of the racial relations in the NFL. Send me the thugs. We'll win it with them.
Send me the thought in the world.
Too funny. I'm surprised y'all not trying to harass me tonight about Mitt Romney's comments. That
I was
exposed.
waiting for you to say something.
Yeah, I figured
was
you
waiting
would
for
pop it
you
up,
to walk into that. I'm fully loaded. Come on. What you want to say?
You know, the only thing I would say about that, because that's, we're not here to talk about Mitt Romney tonight.
No, of course not.
But the only thing I'll say about that is it's not going to hurt him.
Oh.
What?
And it's only going to exacerbate the opinions of people that don't like him. But for the people that do like him, and for the people that are on the fence about him, it actually motivates and energizes them, because he's finally saying something that they have wanted him to say. So it doesn't necessarily gain him any fans, but it doesn't hurt him with any of the people. It doesn't really hurt him with anybody, because again, it motivates the people that don't like him to say, this is why we don't like him. But for those people that do like him, or those people that have been really dying for him to kind of use some more of this kind of conservative Republican talk, it really motivates them to hear him say something that they've been dying for him to say. That's what I think about that. It's sort of like it's really no different from President Obama, in my opinion, going out and talking about how we need to be taxing the rich more, and the rich is not paying their fair share. So for the people that like him, that truly motivates them to hear him talk with such fervor, if you will. And then for those people that think that is a horrible idea, it only motivates them even more to want to go out and get rid of him. But it doesn't hurt him, or it doesn't technically hurt him, if you will, because it only supports and immobilizes the people that like him and or dislike him.
I wish y'all could see me right now. I'm just shaking my head the whole time he's talking. I'm just like,
It's the truth, though. It's the truth.
Tink Tink.
It's the truth.
Refresh to the radio audience exactly what he said.
It's the truth.
Let me look it up.
It's the truth.
I can tell you what he said. I can wrap it up in a nutshell.
You know how I know it? Here's how I know it's the truth. I listen to a lot of conservative talk radio. And I do read the liberal media's news stories and whatnot as well. And I saw all the liberal comments. I was on up late last night reading some liberal comments about it. Shout out to Daryl Thixton. He told me quite I won't call it effectively, but he certainly let me know that he disagrees. But that's off the Griot. I love thegriot.com. Shout out to thegriot.com. But you listen to conservative talk radio today, and of course, surprise, surprise, they are excited, they are thrilled. You listen to the people that call in and listen to those shows. A lot of people are like, wow, I'm great, I'm glad, he's finally saying some of these things that we've been wanting him to say. Kind of, I didn't know it was in him kind of idea. It's kind of what you get when you listen to them.
He didn't know either.
And so when you talk about, again, it supports and validates the people that like him, that want him to be a little bit more aggressive in his message. It helps them. They're like, yes, finally, this guy may be sort of what I've been looking for. But of course, for the liberal fans out there that think he's all bad and wrong for the country, it supports you too, because it makes you feel like, see, I told you this guy don't care nothing about poor people and blah 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 blah. You can fill in the blanks on that one. But yeah, I mean, but it's not hurting and helping the people in the middle. They're probably still in the middle. These comments don't sway them one way or another. And the group that he was talking about, there's some truth in that statement, and I don't mean to say that there's truth in that everybody who is not paying federal income taxes is glad to not pay federal income tax per se. But I will say that there is a group of people that do exist, that do fall in that category. And some of those people want to get out of that category. Some of those people are very happy to be in that category. But are they excited about Mitt Romney? People that kind of tend to float in that category? Probably not. They probably aren't excited about Mitt Romney. And that's perfectly fine. Nobody says you have to be. But so it's not a bad statement to say they're not going to vote for him.
Okay.
It's not a bad statement.
Let's pump the brakes on J. Real. You've had your time to say.
I'm just saying.
He's going to be the president of the United States. Everybody. And if he's already talking about, y'all don't matter. You don't matter. I'm gonna go ahead and take heed to the people who care for me, who are gonna vote for me. That's who I'm going to concentrate on. That's starting off the wrong idea. That's the
not
wrong mentality.
Again, he didn't say that the people didn't matter. He said those people aren't going to vote for him.
They're not going to vote for him. So why should I pay my attention to them? Why should I pander to them? Why should I even try to let them see my point of view if they're not going to? Why try? It's like he's like, I'm not even going to give it a chance.
How is that any different than Barack Obama, or President Barack Obama, I'm sorry, saying that, you know, the rich people need to pay more and they need to pay their fair share, and then him not showing up in, let's say, you know, a neighborhood like Windermere here in Orlando to have some rally? How is that any different? He knows that those people in Windermere aren't going to vote for him, so he's not holding rallies in Windermere because he knows they're not there for him.
1% to the 99%. That's the difference. That the few rich that's going to be out there, okay, they have their views, but he has to be the president of the United States. Everybody, the poor, the middle class, the rich, the in between that, and the in between that. And if you're already coming off in the standstill of, they don't matter. These people don't matter. They want to be victims. They're victims.
He didn't say they didn't matter. He said they weren't going to vote for him. That doesn't say that they don't matter.
In other words, they don't matter. I'm not going to pay attention to them. I'm not going to pay attention to them. I'm not going to campaign to them. I'm not going to speak to anything on their level because they don't matter. They're not going to vote for me anyway. So why should I even waste my breath speaking to them on issues?
And I think it would also justify his behavior for not doing things if he is elected for that class, because then he'll use the idea that, well, they're not going to vote me back in, so I'm going to do what I need to do for the people that are going to vote me back in for the next election. If he were to get in.
I'll say to you, how is that any different from any other candidate out there? You know, when all candidates, while they may not get caught on record saying something, that's his fault, whatever, all candidates have this same mindset. It is not exclusive to Republicans. It's exclusive to political candidates. You know what I'm saying? So this is nothing. This is media and fodder for people that don't like him. For people that like him, this means absolutely nothing.
It's just like you said last week. When the president made certain statements in his campaign, he got an answer for it.
Yeah. Ooh, who said that last week?
He got stuff he said he has to answer for it. So he said it, he has to answer for it.
Right.
Here was the question.
Period.
The question at hand.
Point blank, period.
The question at hand was, does this hurt him? And the answer to that, which is what I was responding to, the question was, does this hurt him? The answer to that is no, it does not. That was the issue.
I would say this.
That was the question.
To be perfectly honest with you, with most of his constituents, no, it doesn't hurt him.
Exactly.
Because I would say that because I believe he just said what everybody was thinking, but nobody else wanted to say.
Exactly. This is why it doesn't hurt him.
The independence. I bet you he lost some independence.
I would say it. I think there is some of those. I think there is a good amount of people out there that you said, like you said, were on the fence that kind of went the other way because they're like, okay, you know, I know you believe certain things and all things, but just to be bold enough to just come out and say it like that, and I can't ride with you.
407-894-1680 is the number. 407-894-1680. Again, the question was, does this hurt him? Yes. And I believe, in my opinion, I do not think it hurts him. Because, again, would some people be offended by this? Probably. Clearly, I'm in a room of people that are offended by this.
I'm not offended. I expect it.
But is this some kind of groundbreaking statement that people didn't already expect from him? No. So that's why it doesn't hurt him. So the people that hate him feel vilified that, yes, this man is the evil, candidate that I thought he was. People that love him are excited because they feel like, he's finally said something. And then most of those people in the middle, most of them are not going to decide whether or not they like him based on this opinion. If this little comment is what makes you decide whether or not you like Mitt Romney, then you probably didn't like Mitt Romney in the first place. And so this little comment just kind of solidified your position. But this is not the comment that's going to sway people that loved him against him or anything like that. And that's how it hurts him. It hurts him if people that loved him and thought he was great are now offended by this comment, are now going to go vote for the president. And that is not going to happen because of this statement. If you liked him, this statement is not going to be the thing that sends you to vote for the opposite side. Again, so that is the question that we were discussing. Liberals are going to ask him to stand up for this and prove somehow that he cares about this 47%. That's what liberals are going to do. Mm-hmm. You know what the conservatives and the Republicans are going to do? The ones that are not afraid to speak their mind, okay, they're going to step up and go, I like what he said, I agree with him, and shout out to Mitt Romney. That's what they're going to say. That's what they're going to say. They're going to say shout out to Mitt Romney. But that's what they're going to say. They're going to say it. That's what they're going to say. So does it hurt him? The answer is no, it does not hurt him. But if you didn't like him, this makes you feel proud that this man has finally given you a statement that you can run with for the next month and a half to go, you see, he's evil.
I think that it's going to end up hurting him because the Obama campaign is going to say, look, we told you they don't care about you. We told you that they only care about those people that, and those people were going to look and say, well, I guess you're right. I guess he is the only person that really cares about the people. He is the
rich.
Yeah, he only cares, Romney only cares about people that make six figures or greater. And that's pretty much it.
It's seven figures and greater. Seven figures, yes. Six are too poor for him.
Yeah, yes. Six may be too poor.
Y'all still paying taxes. The six still paying taxes.
It's going to affect the middle. Like you said, the people. It's not going to affect the folks who love him. It's not going to affect the people who already hate him. It's those middle people that they were fighting for anyway.
Right.
That right there, if you'd be crazy to think that he's in it for you. Even the middle class, he's not for you. He's for the rich.
Well, this statement doesn't confirm it one way or another. I know we got a caller on the line, Brother Brown. How you doing, Brother Brown?
Just great. I'd like to make the comment, and I would say, in my opinion, is that it will hurt him in a way. Now, I speak from the position of it being more people in the common rank as it is in the upper rank. Yeah, like you say, yes, a lot of people that galvanized around him that saying, well, yeah, I like him and he said the right thing. But, in all actuality, it's more people that's offended by that in reality. And what that does is it galvanizes certain portions of it, because I think that it gets to the crux of the whole problem. And what I say about this whole thing is, I heard the conservative guy. I call him conservative guy. He is a bleeding hard conservative. His opinion, he listened to Royce Limbaugh and all those guys so much until he thinks just like them,
you must listen to the show a lot. I like that.
But I heard him say one time about, the job situation and how America was structured. But, with America being the greatest country in the world and with all this economic wealth, why isn't it created to where it could be fair and impartial? You're not going to tell me that it's a job for every American here when the corporations and the corporate bigwigs is holding back jobs. They're trying to hold on to money. And it gets to the point of where politicians have to look beyond politics a lot of times, but I know they have to be political because, hey, the people that's got the money is running the show. But still, we have to be more attuned to the reality. In America, it's people hungry. It's people homeless in America, a country of wealth. And it's not because the people are lazy and the people, won't do. Yeah, I'm just saying, it's a reality. And I'm going to just sit back and just listen to y'all comment.
We appreciate your comments there, Brother Brown. This is your conservative brother that you were talking about. Jay Real, that's me. But yeah, I hear you. But I think in the big scheme of things, I just disagree with the panel, with Brother Brown. I don't think people, again, if you were in the middle and one, you were confused as to whether or not you like this guy, or you were in the middle and you knew that you didn't quite trust him, then yes, this statement offends you, and perhaps you jump and you're saying, okay, President Obama is my guy, but if you were solid on him, which is what we're talking about, that's how it affects him. It affects him when people that were solid on him leave him, and those people are not going to do that. For most independents, this is probably not the statement that's going to make you decide whether or not you like Mitt Romney. For most independents, you're waiting to hear the debates. You're waiting to hear issues debated. You're waiting to hear plans debated. What is your plan? Why is your plan better? That's what most independents are waiting for. We get that in October. And so until then, most independents are on the sideline, because all of this, our discussion, those comments, they're only fodder to feed the fuel in the fire for those people who are either for a particular candidate or against a particular candidate. It's not really adding to the game, because those comments, as Brother Jeremy pointed out, they don't surprise you. They're not shocking. You're not surprised to hear him say that. Why? Because if you listen to conservative radio, they're saying all of those same things already. They were just waiting to hear their candidate say it. So all of those people are already on that bandwagon. They're already preaching those same things. You listen to a person like Sean Hannity, he's been talking the same comments for the last 6 months, waiting on these candidates to step up and say the same thing. So it's nothing new. It's not surprising. You're not shocked that he said it. You're not even surprised, somebody caught it on, you look at who reported this story. Who reported this story is a website called Mother Jones. It's a liberal site. So they just couldn't wait to get something out to rise liberals up and go, yay, you see, we got him. We got him.
Really?
Woo, you know what I'm saying? So this is nothing.
This
is nothing. No, it's not even silly. They're all saying it. That's what I'm trying to get y'all to see. Every conservative Republican that has a mic that gets on television is not afraid to speak their mind. They're saying the exact same thing. So this is nothing new.
There lies the problem that you can just
That's what I'm trying to get y'all to see.
47% of the country. That's the problem right there. That is the problem with that party. They don't care. They do not care about America. Their whole stance on what they've been doing against President Obama, they don't care. They just care about party, and they care about money, and they care about keeping their name. That's it. So you saying this is the quote. Boom. My job is not to worry about those people. There are 47% of people who will vote for the president no matter what. No matter what. 47% are going to vote for him. They are dependent on government, who believe that they are victims, who believe that the government has the responsibility to care for them, who will believe that they are entitled to health care, to food, to housing. Those people I don't have to worry about.
Yeah, because he can't talk to those people.
They're victims.
There's nothing he's going to say to influence those people to get them excited about what he's doing. There's nothing.
I mean, what is his plan?
These are the people that you're going to lead.
It doesn't matter.
What do you mean it doesn't matter?
Leading and getting them to vote for you are two different things.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Because President Obama leads a bunch of Republicans that can't wait to vote him out of office.
Because they don't want him in office.
We got a caller, though. We got a caller. Tim Adams, how you doing tonight?
I think that he's leading them quite well. They just going to fall by the wayside after November the 6th.
There you go.
hey, listeners, we're going to have some fun at Jones High School on October the 4th with the Pan-Atlantic Council. And for those of you who don't believe in hazing, that's the Divine Nine, all the fraternities and sororities. We're going to be presenting the candidates. And I want y'all to all make sure that the only African-American candidate for clerk of court is heard that night. So y'all support my cousin on the radio program and try to bring somebody out to do a remote on October the 4th at 6:30 p.m. at Jones High School, please.
All right, we'll look into that. October 4th.
Yeah, look into a remote, because, every time WKB shows up, the power comes on. Did I say that right?
Yeah, you said that right.
All right.
We appreciate you calling in, Tim.
Make sure you tell Shante I said that.
All right, I will.
All right, thanks.
But yeah, man, this is, like I said, does it hurt him? It does not. It does, like I said, it empowers all of my studio buddies here, and it makes you guys feel empowered that he is finally, well, not finally, but he is truly exposed himself for the evil Republican candidate that he is. But I don't think it matters much at this stage of the game.
We'll see. But
we will definitely see. At the end of the day, you look at the numbers, the race is still pretty much in a tie. So I think that says it all when you look at, for those that care about stats and all that kind of stuff. It's essentially a tie. So
I heard on the radio today, I was listening to Brother Steve January's show on the radio. And I forgot what organization came on his show and was saying about not to vote, to stay home instead of voting, because you're either voting for a Mormon or you're voting for somebody who supports same-sex marriages. And I don't know, how do you feel about that, Miss McCray? I was speechless when I heard him say that. But
I got a comment. Because actually, this is funny you bring that up. I was reading some articles last night about that very same thing. Yeah. There are and you can reference this stuff. I told you I love thegrio.com. I'm telling you, it's got everything. For those that don't know what that is, it's a news website dedicated to black interest. It's sponsored by MSNBC, but about every article that they write has some kind of black interest related to it. But anyway, so they were talking.
RealFamilyTalk.weebly.com. You probably find a link to it.
But yes, you should be able to find some links. But they were talking, and they had an article about pastors, and there's pastors going around, and some of them encouraging their membership not to vote because your options are, like you said, you have one option who supports gay marriage, you have a second option who supports, who is a Mormon. And I'm put some comments up. You can find them on my Facebook page. You remember Real Family Talk. And basically my point is this: when it comes to religion is very personal, and because we live in America, there are thousands of interpretation of what religion is because of the freedoms that we have here. And so when it comes to religion, while you can get a certain group of people to agree on a particular topic, you can't get thousands of different opinions to agree on any particular topic. Everyone is going to spin it the way that their religion frames that particular topic. And so, to judge anyone based on what quote unquote religion they are in a country that has thousands and thousands of different opinions on what religion is, I think is a little short-sighted, especially when it comes to voting, because people have died especially when we talk about minorities, people have died to allow minorities the rights to have votes. And so to not vote simply because some candidate doesn't quite line up with what your religion is, I think it's short-sighted on your part, because you're now, taking away the opportunity to voice what kind of direction you want this country to be in. For those that support President Obama, with the exception of this particular issue, if you think he's a better candidate than Mitt Romney, but then by not voting for him simply because he said he was in favor of gay marriage, well, now you're giving the country, or at least potentially, to a man you don't agree with, if you will.
Exactly.
And then by the same token, the same goes for the Mormonism. I mean, to me, I don't know a whole lot about Mormons. I have been doing some little fact checking here and there about the religion, and I'll just say this: from the research that I have done, and I know about what happened, and at one point in time, the religion put down black people and all of that. I hear you on that, but when you look at its core, it doesn't seem the core values that they hold are not really different from the core values that all religions hold. Okay, in the sense that they want to treat each other like you want to be treated. They believe in tithing. These kind of basic concepts that make up a religion. Sure, they may not see Jesus as you see Jesus. Sure, at one point in time they supported slavery, but Christians did too. And so there's a lot of little things that are, consistent about all religions, and when it comes to not being very fair to some particular race, or race or whatever. So that's neither here nor there. The core values are the same, and so he's not out to change the country into Mormons. You know what I mean? So whether or not he is or isn't doesn't matter, and that should be the least of your concerns when it comes to voting for a candidate is based on what your religious beliefs are. I'm of the opinion I've never seen a tongue speaking, Holy Ghost filled politician. So you know what I'm saying. So as far as I'm concerned,
the Reverend.
I'm gonna say it again. I haven't seen a tongue speaking, Holy Ghost filled politician in my life.
Do it in public.
So I don't care about no religion. I don't care about no religion. I don't care about no religion. But that's my comment. 407-894-1680.
But just as you said, he's not trying to make every American Mormon. President Obama is not trying to make every American homosexual. So
just because you're promoting that they can get married doesn't mean that you are promoting homosexuality.
Exactly.
But at the same time, 2 men is just wrong. I'm so sorry about that. It's nothing. 2 men.
What?
I don't even go no further and say no. Just 2 men, dog. Don't make me go there. But it's just wrong, man. I mean, it's under God. Everybody knows when you get married under God, it's man and woman. That is just completely wrong.
Well, to throw a little sidetrack on, when people say it, they always say 2 men, but nobody ever says 2 women.
Exactly. Why don't men have a problem with 2 women? They don't never say 2 women.
I have a problem with them getting married now, with other stuff.
See? No, just stop.
Just cut my mic off.
You can't be halfway.
Double standard.
407-894.
Women got way more double standards than men.
This conversation is going left.
1680. But that's my opinion. All this religion stuff, I'm not saying your religion is important. I'm not saying it's important to have religious values. I'm not even saying that you should look for a candidate perhaps that has some kind of religious values that you support, But realistically, I am saying, I think you're going to be hard pressed to truly find any politician that lives up to every standard of, a religion. That's all I'm saying.
I think that what they're telling their congregation is they're not really using total wisdom in that, because it's not like the whole world can just, or the whole United States can just boycott voting and nobody will be voted.
Somebody's still going to be president.
Somebody's going to win.
I don't care if 3 people show up. The Electoral College is still voting.
That frame of thinking of letting the people of God not have an option and ask God who to vote for, I don't really understand. They should at least tell them to pray about which candidate to vote for rather than to boycott so that you don't have a voice at all.
Either way it goes, the Bible shows that it's inevitable. I mean, I don't understand it either. But what I do have a question, Brother Real. This internet movie that's going about, that's got all these Muslims killing people overseas. I haven't heard you say anything about this internet movie.
Actually,
and plus,
I'm
the
on
pastor
Facebook
is from Florida. Well, yeah, I read the blog, but you haven't said anything. Y'all got on Obama and Romney. Y'all go all hours on that. So I'm trying to get off that subject. Really.
Well, here's my comment on that. One, I think it's irresponsible of the media to report that people are rioting due to some video on
this is a movie
YouTube
this is an actual movie
some movie on YouTube, a place where there are billions of videos by a unknown producer, a unknown director.
Well, he's
unknown.
This is the same pastor
unknown
that was getting on the Muslims and was going to burn the Quran. This is the same guy that had all that drama there.
Gainesville.
No, he's the one that was promoting it. Sure, but let's be honest. How many hits the video? They've taken it down, so unfortunately we can't see how many hits that it had. But I guarantee you that video before it got taken down, maybe that video had 5,000, 10,000 hits. I'm being modest. And let me say this. So you telling me a video with 5,000 to 10,000 hits is spreading across Egypt and Syria and
that's what I'm saying. If it's spreading all the way over there, it had to have more.
Do you really believe that story?
All it takes is for one person to watch it, and of course they go pass it
along. All it takes is history to show us that people in Egypt, Syria, Indonesia, Pakistan, they don't like America.
Right.
You don't need a video.
No, they don't.
You don't need a video to incite them. You need to be an American. That's what you need to be.
I mean, this is true.
So that is ridiculous.
This is true.
Why do we believe some media hyped up story about? Come on.
But wait, why are the conservatives using this, talking about, oh, this is Obama's fault? The way that things are happening, they're using this video, the recent attacks, and saying this is Obama's fault. If you look at your favorite station,
I can tell.
That's all they've been saying. So you're talking on the point where you can't rest on this video alone. It's been history, but tell your folks, tell your people,
I listen.
Simmer down.
You know, I've listened. I've listened.
Down,
and I'll tell you what they said. One, they agree that this video is ridiculous to blame a video for inciting hatred against America in these countries that have proven that they don't like America. They don't need a video for that. So that's the first thing they said. The second thing they said is yes, they do blame the president as to sort of egging on some of this violence. And here's their logic. And I'm not here to say that I agree with their logic, but you asked for it, so here it is.
A mess.
Their logic is, basically, we know when those particular countries, Syria, Egypt, Libya, when their Arab Spring, as they call them, when their revolutions were occurring, President Obama was not afraid to say that he supported the different rebels that were rising up against their particular governments. He went on record to say that. In Libya, he didn't send troops, but he allowed them to use drones, American drones, to help the rebels fight in Libya. In Egypt, they've promised the new government of Egypt over $2 billion. And he also acknowledged that the previous president be ousted and what a good thing that would be. And so their logic is, since you have supported these people in these Arab Springs, which if you were listening to that same type of radio when those Arab Springs were going on, they felt like they were just terrorist groups rising up to take over and bring more of a terrorist type environment within those countries. That was the argument they made at the time. And so now to see these people riling up against America, for them, yes, they blame the president because they said you supported these same people who are now upset with us and who are now burning flags and yada, 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 yada. So that is their logic. Right, wrong, indifferent. Wrong. That is their logic, because at one point in time, he said that these people were doing a great thing because they were rising up against their governments. And now, of course, everyone considers them doing a bad thing because they're rallying against America. So that's their logic. I'm not saying I'm here to agree with it, but that's the logic that they apply, and that's why they say what they say. But they did not believe some random unknown video with a bunch of unknown actors that was probably seen 5,000 times on YouTube out of the billions of videos on YouTube that somehow surprisingly made it its way into Egypt and Libya and Syria and Indonesia to incite people to rally against America. Really?
Yes.
Really? Really?
Yes.
That's what they're
I don't
telling
believe
you.
it. I don't believe
That's
it.
what your
I think it's a
people are
ridiculous
saying.
story. That's my opinion. Mr. Micah King on that.
Well, that seems like your opinion is just not being the top opinion today, because nobody's agreeing with you today, Brother Real. Nobody.
That's okay. I invited y'all here to disagree with me.
I mean, one thing I can't believe is, like you said, I think the media is definitely overplaying it. But I think it's crazy how, now the soldiers can't even trust the people that they was working with, because those are the same people that are setting them up now.
In Afghanistan, they're getting set up.
Yeah,
it's
crazy.
And the crazier thing about that, though, is when you do some research about what's happening in Afghanistan, we're back to negotiating with the Taliban. We're negotiating with the Taliban? Like, are you serious? We're negotiating with the Taliban? What?
Is that a shock?
it is a shock because we went into that country in part because of what the Taliban allowed. So now to be negotiating with them is as if now they're going to help us out. Really? That's what they're going to do? Help us out? Really? Is that what we believe? They're going to help us out? Come on now. No, they're not helping us out.
No, maybe
they're going to say they're probably going to say what we want to hear, but clearly they're not helping us out because we're blaming some of the Taliban for some of these attacks.
But isn't that the same? I mean,
come on now.
Working on one hand, isn't that the same thing we would do to them? Tell them what they want to hear. And a few years later, when we need to, we go and blow them all up.
Which is why we should have never went to Afghanistan. My point exactly.
Hey,
so that's what I'm saying.
Hey, I'm not disagreeing with that.
That's my point. So
that was the decision of a Republican, I believe.
But my law.
That was the decision of the country. Come on.
The country? I didn't vote for it.
Come on, really?
I didn't vote to go to Afghanistan.
Republicans for going to Afghanistan? Really? Really? Really?
Hey, I would say
really
this.
Going to blame Republicans for going to Afghanistan?
Okay, can we please stop saying really?
I believe Republicans. I blame Republicans, or actually Republicans and Democrats for going into Iraq. Sure.
Now, I would say this.
Afghanistan, the whole country wanted us to go to Afghanistan. Not me. I didn't want us to go to Afghanistan. But most people in the country after 9/11 wanted us to go to Afghanistan and blow some stuff up. That's what they wanted. Come on now.
Well, I would say that maybe they don't want Afghanistan to turn into another Vietnam or something where we're there 10, 20 years later and nothing's still getting accomplished. Just a bunch of our soldiers getting killed.
Well, that's what happened. But
I
mean, the whole country,
though. I'm
the whole
assuming
country
what
wanted to go to Afghanistan.
No, stop saying that.
Stop saying that, man.
Stop saying that.
They
the whole
wanted
country
to
did not want
find
that.
the person responsible for the 9/11 attacks.
Who was in Afghanistan?
Who
was in Afghanistan?
And
that's the
continue
point.
to blow the country up.
But he was in Afghanistan. How you go?
Well, they didn't found him. They still over there. They still doing stuff. Why?
Because once you in, you can't just leave. Because if you do that,
then
you defeat the purpose of going in the first place.
Exactly.
So that's why they're still there. But come on,
that's probably why they're negotiating.
Most people in the country want to go to Afghanistan. We're running out of time here. There was one other thing I wanted to bring up. Ignited a series of comments recently with a comment that I made on a website, favorite website, thegrill.com. But
you can get to through RealFamilyTalk.willy.com.
That's right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that, Jeremy. It was about George Zimmerman and Trayvon Martin. And recently, if you've been paying attention, Mark O'Mara, the attorney for George Zimmerman, has asked to see the school records of Trayvon. And here's my comment, and I'll let you comment, and I'll, of course, let the panel comment as well, if you so desire. 407-894-1680, 407-894-1680. So my comment said, it says, I want to make an honest statement of truth. The defense is just trying to give a complete picture of who he was. The storyline right now would have you believe he was a skinny kid who looked like a little boy. That said, I'm not pleading George's innocence, but they want to give a complete picture of who he thought he saw that night. Right or wrong, I think he deserves that. I still hope he is convicted of something. I just hope the prosecutor didn't overshoot with her charges. So that was my comment. And approximately 30-some other people felt the need to tell me how wrong I was.
As usual.
As usual. But here, and I have a simple logic on this comment. Well, actually, I'll let you guys, tell me what you think. What do you guys think about that? 407-894-1680. 407-894-1680.
What are they? Let's say you get the school records, and it shows that he had all F's, was suspended multiple times. What does that prove? That he deserved to get shot by George Zimmerman? What does that prove exactly? It proves nothing at all.
Nothing.
And so I'm just not understanding the logic here that they have on getting school records. I think it's just a tactic to distract people, because it really has no real meaning to the actual action that was done and the death of this child and the incident that brought you to this death of the child. They're going way left field on this.
They're reaching. Well, let's be honest. What are they doing? The whole concept here is that he's going to plead self-defense. And so in order to plead self-defense, he needs to know more about the person who he is, quote unquote, defending himself from. And so if he's going to be allowed to have a proper defense, which is what the government says he should have, these records at least give you more of a picture of who the individual was, who he was defending himself against.
I don't understand. How is the victim put on trial now? Why are we looking at he's dead. This man killed him, profiled this young man. Why is the victim even in question? It doesn't matter. He chose to get out of his car and follow this man and shoot him and kill him. Period.
This boy, not this man.
This boy.
We have a caller. How you doing tonight, Brother McSwain?
I'm good.
What's your comment tonight?
Yeah, my comment is very simple. For the defense to ask for his school records is basically the equivalent to putting a rape victim on trial by asking about her habits, her sex partners, this and that, and it's in that instance it becomes irrelevant.
Agreed.
Okay.
Agreed.
All right.
Agreed.
We appreciate your comment tonight, Brother McSwain. I hear you, but at the same time, he brought up a rape victim. That's what they do. That's what a defense lawyer does. Why? Because the defense's job is to know everything it is about the opposite person, the victim or whatever they are. In this case, the dead man, if you will, dead young man,
kid,
young kid. So it's their job to put on the best defense possible. Now, I'm not saying that, it's the right thing to do, it's the moral thing to do, blah, 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 blah. I'm saying in a court of law, if you're going to have a fair trial, then these are the types of things you ask for. Why? Because as self-defense, only way I can defend myself, I can't talk to the person that I'm trying to defend myself against. So the only way I can defend myself against him is to find out who he was when he was alive. That's the only thing I can do, because he's not here to answer that. Now, again, I'm not saying that it's morally right. I'm saying that in a court of law, that is your only option. I look at it like this. I don't ever think I'd be in George Zimmerman's position, ever. I don't even own a gun, so I certainly can't shoot anybody right now.
Don't tell these people that. They comments you've been making. That man has a rifle.
So if I was in his position, though, I want to know about my opposite person. And that's how I look at this. If my son was in his position, I would want to know about my opposite person, because that's the only way that you can defend yourself. Now, again, I'm not saying that he's innocent. I'm not saying that these school records will somehow exonerate him. I agree. He needs to go to jail. I don't even, in my opinion, there shouldn't be a trial. But there is a trial. And in America, that's how trials work. We don't have to like it, but that's the truth. That's all I'm saying. How you doing tonight, Michelle? What's your comment?
I every time I hear that Zimmerman, by law, deserves a fair trial, it just makes me sick. It just does something to the inside of my stomach. It was not self-defense, and everybody keep forgetting the 911 call clearly states we do not need you to follow him. And if nothing else, he should have been arrested that same night because of that. Because of that alone, he was told not to follow. However, if the role had been reversed and Trayvon had killed him and it wasn't self-defense, we wouldn't be discussing this. We wouldn't be saying we want him to have a fair trial. We wouldn't. And this guy was able to raise $200,000+. But you find someone who loses their job that's black, they can't even get an attorney. And this guy even has people defending him and supporting him for killing a kid. And we still think he deserves a fair trial. Well, what does Trayvon Martin deserve? Why is he going into that kid's record? His kid, even if he had all else, like the lady said, Even if he had was suspended most of the year, that does not justify Zimmerman shooting him when his life was not in self-defense. His life was not in jeopardy. He was told clearly, do not follow him. Are you following him? Yes. We don't need you to do that. If he deserves a fair trial, and I understand that's a screwed up judicial system, but I'm not understanding it. Let me go out and kill somebody and see if I get a fair trial. What about the lady that shot in the wall and she got 20 years? Zimmerman didn't even get arrested, and people are still. And when black people say he deserves a fair trial, it just sets me off. That's just my comment.
Well, thank you very much. Jim is not black.
What? Let me comment on that. One, I think it's irresponsible for us as minorities in general to think he shouldn't deserve a fair trial. And the reason I say that is a lot of our people are locked up because they did not get fair trials. So we can't, something happens now from the other side of the fence and say, oh, no, he doesn't deserve a fair trial. No, he deserves a fair trial. You know, the fact of the matter is, it's just everybody should have a fair trial. So we don't want to go against that now, because when it turns around and happen the next time, now we have some, well, hey, y'all gave him fair trial. Y'all would let him introduce this evidence, this is that and the other. So it in turn could work in the long run because it could set a precedent, which is very important in the legal system. So I think it really is nothing but responsible for his defense attorney to do this, because that's what a defense attorney does.
Exactly.
If you were on trial, you would want your attorney to do the same thing.
That's all I'm saying.
And if he didn't, I would say get you another attorney.
Okay.
Preach, brother. That's all I'm saying.
For a particular crime. If my crime is that I killed an innocent person, it doesn't matter what that person did. It's my bad. I killed that person.
But see, do you want a fair trial or not? Yeah, but see, that's what I'm saying. It's two different issues. We're trying that's supposed to be decided in court. You know, of course, we're emotional because we see the facts of the case and we don't like them as we see them. But that's not for us to decide on the radio, you know, at home, on the TV, whatever, what have you. Is to be decided in the courtroom, and we need to let it play out in the courtroom. You know, we can't say, oh, well, he was wrong. You know, I agree, he was wrong. But at the end of the day, for him to go to jail, it has to play out in court. You know, even if they arrested him that night, it would have still had to go to trial, you know, and all the evidence that we seeing or what he said, all this same evidence, all this would have been thrown into the picture. Now we just heard about all these details that most of us obviously don't agree with. So, you know, we're voicing these strong emotional opinions. But at the same time, it has to be a fair trial. It has to be, because if it doesn't, all that's going to happen is his lawyer is going to appeal and he's going to get off.
Exactly, and that's my point. I'm not pleading George's innocence at all. You know, again, he should go to jail, in my opinion. But at the same time, I need him to have a fair trial. Not because I think every black man that goes into court gets a fair trial, but because I want every black man that goes into court to get a fair trial. That's why I want him to have a fair trial, because I would like a fair trial if I ever go to court, and I think every man after me, before me, should get the same thing, including this man who clearly deserves something. And for us to, like he said, we're the last people that should be asking for this to not be fair, because we're the first people to plead that things aren't fair for us. And so if they're going to be fair for us, they certainly they first have to be fair for everybody else. And so we need this. You need this to go to court. We need it to play out. You know, he's not going to get a second-degree murder based on our emotions. Second-degree murder conviction based on our emotions. You know, because we thought when the police told him, or what I said, when the dispatcher told him to go home, just because they said that is not a deadlock on second-degree murder. It isn't. We need this thing to play out in court. We need this thing to, you know, everything to come out in the open, if you will, in order for this, for him to get some kind of justice. That we may agree with, which I don't even think we're going to get justice we agree with in this situation. I'm not really convinced on that, but I guess we will see when the trial comes up. But we need this to be fair. And again, yes, it's kind of offensive that they ask for these documents, but at the same time, again, he's going for self-defense. the person he's going against, self-defense, cannot speak. So the only thing that you can do is pull up that person's record and let that speak for that person. You know, it's no different than when the prosecutor is going to put his mom and his dad on the stand to show his record. It's no different. They have to have something else, because they certainly not going to get anything but he was a sweet boy and he loved everybody and he would give everybody hugs when they saw him. That's all he's going to get from his parents. They're not going to get anything different. And not that his school records are going to provide something different, but at least it gives a picture who he was. It's no different than a person pulling up somebody's rap sheet from their arrest record to show who they are. You know, it's the same concept. His school records are all they have because he was in school. So they don't have anything else to pull up. He didn't have a rap sheet, so they can't pull that out on him. That's a good thing. Hopefully his school records show that he was a good kid too, hopefully, which would give them less fuel for the fire.
Right.
But they got to ask for it, because that's how he gets a proper self-defense story going. And that's as simple as that. You know, our emotions tell us this is wrong. Our emotions tell us that why are we even talking about that? But the truth is, he deserves it. 407-894-1680. Any of you guys, the other guys, want to comment on that?
I would say, yeah, this, and we as Christians too, you know, we have to be careful about stuff, because at the end of the day, you know, it says love thy neighbor as ourselves, and we have to, you know, we got to be fair. We can't, just because we're mad, forget right, you know, right and fairness. And this is the law of the land, and it's part of it. So, you know, obviously we don't agree, so we can't just say, okay, lock him up, throw him with a key, without taking the man through a fair trial. You know, it can't be like that. You know, we have to. That's like we have to be careful about it. I mean, just like at the end of the day, only thing you can do at this point anyway is just pray and pray that God's will be done, and what's going to happen is going to happen as God sees fit.
There it is. 407-894-1680.
Follow that. Silence.
Mr. King, I'm surprised you ain't got nothing to say on that, Mr. King.
Well, I agree 100%. You know, it got to play out the way it's got to play out. I was watching this television show about, I think I was watching it yesterday with my mom, and we were saying the same thing. It was a white gentleman who was outside, and he shot these two dudes. But he knew the things to say. He was actually, somebody was recording it at the time.
He was recording. It was on 2020.
Yeah, it was on 2020.
Yeah.
He was recording it, and he was saying the things to say. I am in danger. I feel like you're going to hurt me. And he shot and killed these two dudes, but he in jail behind bars at this time, though. So, you know, like you say, things just got to play out. I mean, you know, they were saying that he went over there looking for trouble. He carried an extra clip, and he shot a dog, and, you know, he's not portraying himself as he usually is. But like I say, this gentleman is behind bars right now because the trial had to play out. He was a white man. He shot two white men, and now he is in jail. So, you know, you have to let things take their course. You know, we haven't been a fan of the judicial system over the years. But things have to change eventually.
That's what Brother Jeremy over there said. And you know, that's how I felt about it. And like I said, I think I'm up to like 36 people that disagree with me at this point. but you know, hey man, the truth is the truth as I see it, man.
Where they're on your Real Family Talk like page, or where are they disagreeing?
They are on the Real Family Talk page, if I'm not mistaken. I have to check my Facebook again, but
how do I get to the Real Family Talk page?
Facebook.com. Real Family Talk is the name of the page, sir.
Because I want to disagree with you on the page also, so I'm just trying to figure out. You say I go to Facebook.com and then what?
Facebook.com and Real Family Talk is the name of the page. So, yeah, so, you know, check us out. Check out the comments. We're getting ready to wind down here on the show tonight. We want to thank you guys for listening. Remember, you can always find us on Facebook, Real Family Talk. You can always find us on the website, realfamilytalk.weebly.com. You can also find us on YouTube, Real Family Talk, as well. So make sure you are checking us out. Met a lot of interesting people too. Kind of got some new fans out there.
Yeah, I saw that.
Interacting on some of these websites as well. There's one particular gentleman, especially on the Trayvon Martin comment. I think he posted about 5 times about how much he disagreed with me.
Very detailed arguments.
Very detailed arguments.
The good thing, you had different people arguing with each other on there. So it was like real, like, yes.
Yeah. I saw one, he had like the statutes. He was in violation of this statute. I wanted to go look that up. What statute is he talking about?
Yeah, there was a few comments. Shout out to Bob Johnson is that gentleman's name. He's even came over to the webpage and disagreed with me on the webpage as well. He gave me several lengthy explanations as to
that's RealFamilyTalk.weebly.com.
Yeah, RealFamilyTalk.weebly.com. Please, we love reading your comments on the different blogs that are put up on the webpage.
You say .weebly?
.weebly, WEEBLY.com. RealFamilyTalk.weebly.com.
Yeah, you also go in and see the different co-hosts on the show. See our emails or anybody else on there you want to send an email to, say this, that, and the third. With you can find that on there as well.
Yeah, exactly. And
tell me y'all like my comments.
Real Family Talk
Jeremy,
at gmail.com
aka younger brother.
is the name
That's me.
of the site as well. You guys have any parting comments tonight?
Oh, I would say this. I don't know if y'all I've checked, but the Chicago teachers have voted to go back to work
tomorrow.
So yeah, they're probably most will be back to work tomorrow. So I guess that's a good thing, depending on who you talk to.
Well, I think it's a good thing.
Overall, I think it is a good thing. I just hope the teachers got. Well, it seems like they got most of what they wanted, but like you said,
well, actually, no. They're going back not because they voted a new contract in.
Well, they're
going back
to end the strike
because they think it's the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think it is. At the end of the day, teaching is never about you. Teaching is about the students that you teach. And in this day and age, because one of the things they were fighting for, or fighting against, I should say, is the city wanting to implement higher standards as far as merit pay for teachers based on some standardized tests. Basically the same thing that we have in Florida, and essentially, Chicago teachers are already some of the highest paid teachers in the country, and so from that perspective, as a former county public school teacher myself, I'll say this. I sympathize in wanting to fight against merit pay. But the truth is, merit pay is the way of the future. Our current president, President Obama, supports merit pay. Pretty much most states are moving in some direction towards merit pay. Most states are moving in some direction towards standardized testing. And so it's the wave of the future. And so if teachers want to really affect change, because the one thing that isn't consistent is how merit pay should be done.
Yeah,
there's no consistent theme out there on that. Everybody wants it, but nobody has a consistent theme for it yet. And so if teachers want to support that, then teachers need to come to the table to support it.
Yeah.
Striking is not going to help. All teachers that are concerned need to come to the table and figure out the fairest, quote unquote, way to bring and initiate merit pay. And that's what needs to be done. But I am glad the strike is over, and hopefully they don't have to go back and do that again. Thank you again for listening to the show tonight. Remember, every Tuesday night, 9 p.m., we're right here, RealFamilyTalk.weebly.com. See you next week.
Winter Garden, Orlando.
Made my life worth living. Taught me the joy of giving.